Hey everyone, I hope you're all doing well today. So we've reached the end of this little journey through all my Genesis games, and we are going to look at Moonwalker. This was a weird one for me because until probably about 6-7 years ago, I had no idea this existed. I didn't know that there was a movie that Michael Jackson did called Moonwalker. I had no idea that it was an arcade game, which is more of an isometric game and doesn't really have much to do with the Genesis game. And I kind of wish I had been playing the arcade game because that one looks a little bit better than what this does. So let me get some of the positives out of the way. I like the way the game looks. I like the way the game sounds. I think the looks are really great. The animations are awesome. I totally believe that this is a world where Michael Jackson just shoots pixie dust out of himself and uses that to just, I'm guessing, kill bad guys, but more like just send them off into another dimension entirely. It's kind of strange what's going on in this game. It's really weird, and when you read the manual and the backstory of it, it gets just as strange. So what is the point of this game? You are going around as Michael Jackson and you are saving kids. Basically, you're saving the same kid. I don't know what's going on with this gang, but they managed to find just a whole mess of little blonde girls in the same dress, or maybe they put them in the same dress, and you are trying to rescue them. I mean, sure, great. The manual says that they are trying to turn these kids into slaves, which is very creepy. I don't know exactly what their end goal is, and I honestly don't want to know what their end goal is. But yeah, it's very, very weird. So the first level is pretty straightforward. You just save all the kids, and they're all pretty easy to find, and then Bubbles shows up. I don't know who the fuck Bubbles is. I'm not up on all my Michael Jackson lore, to be perfectly honest. But Bubbles shows up, and he points you in a direction to find the magic spot where the big boss is. He taunts you, runs away, and then you fight a bunch of just guys. You just beat up a bunch of dudes that run at you. Sometimes they shoot at you, sometimes they don't. You know, whatever. And then the same, or like a version of the little girl that you've been saving this whole time shows up. You touch her, not like that. You touch her and then the level ends, and you go on to the next stage. And that's kind of the game. You just do that over and over again. Where the game gets annoying is in finding the little girls that you need to save. Because you need to open up doors, and later on you need to open up the trunks of cars, which makes this even stranger that they just have a bunch of little kids stuffed in the trunks of cars. Or, as I found out, you have to save them by opening up windows. And apparently the little girls are just sitting on windowsills. Which would make me think that they've already escaped. Because if they're outside the building on this windowsill, they're not tied up or anything. They could just, hop down and leave, especially on, like, the ground floor. I get if they're up on, like, the, second or third floor, maybe they can't get away, or maybe they don't want to risk hurting themselves. But if you're on the ground floor, you're not that far off. Like, you're maybe about 4 to 6 feet off the ground. You should be fine. I don't really get why that's such a big deal. So one thing I wanted to talk about was just how the game was made. Sega actually went to Michael Jackson and pitched their idea for a game to him. And it was supposed to be a short meeting, but it turned out to be a much longer one. And, Michael Jackson was very involved in this game. He really wanted it to be good and everything. And at the time, yeah, it was fine. It's only really when you look back at it with a more modern perspective and you kind of realize all the other stuff that was going on in Michael Jackson's life, that the game becomes like a little bit creepier and kind of the controls don't hold up as well. Aside from that, I want to say this, it's not a bad game, but it's probably not a game I would ever want to go back and play. Like, I really didn't like this one that much. It's not anywhere near as bad as Fantasia was, and it didn't... It's not the same as with, like, Forgotten Worlds, where Forgotten Worlds, I was frustrated but still enjoyed it for the most part. This one, it was just kind of like, yeah, I don't need to go back and play this one again. So that's going to wrap it up, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have another suggestion for a Genesis game I should look at, let me know about that one as well, because I'd like to do more of these. I've got a bunch that I just never got around to playing or haven't gone in depth with them yet. So it'd be kind of fun to look at some more of them. So, have a great day, everyone, and see you later.